Hello everyone, Space Oyster here, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XII The Zodiac Age. In the last episode, Vaan found his way into the royal treasury, and then he found trouble when Fran and Balthier tried to steal stuff from him. In this episode, we'll be finishing our way through the sewers.
Who would be next?
Close ranks, bring her down.
Jump down! Hurry!
Nice catch.
She's not alone.
Our ranks grow by the hour.
And our troubles with them.
Alright, so you have a small combat section here, and this, strange lady will be helping us out fighting these Imperial soldiers. And you know she's a badass, because she took one of those guys out and basically shouted at them, "Bring it on, tough guys!" But not really. Looks like she knows the dark spell. That or she used an item. There are some items in here that emulate the effects of spells. Maybe she just used one of those. Anyway, once they're all dead, you get another cutscene.
You alright?
Thank you.
I'm Vaan. And this is Balthier, and hey! What's your name?
Amalia.
Amalia, huh? Nice to meet you.
There were others with me. I'm sorry. No.
Huh?
Oh, now isn't that impressive?
Don't get any ideas. I said it's mine.
I'm afraid the jury's still out on that one.
You stole that?
Yeah.
Have you finished? When the guards don't report in, they'll come looking for us.
If they aren't already.
You should come with us. Better than being by yourself.
Very well.
What's wrong with her?
You have a lot to learn before we even get started on your thievery.
What's that mean?
Yeah, sorry, that always makes me giggle. Anyway, you could just go talk to her, and then we can continue.
The situation requires I accept such help as I find, though it be from thieves. I shall accompany you until we find my companions, no longer.
Let's think of her as a guest then. Unlike Fran or myself, our guest probably won't be taking orders from anyone anytime soon, and she'll leave when she pleases. So we keep to our affairs and she to hers. I doubt we'll find her wanting in valor, being such an upstanding member of the insurgents.
Resistance.
Alright, so Amalia's gonna help us out, and basically, Balthier, everything...
Well, what are we waiting for?
Sorry, forgot about that. Anyway, everything Balthier said about guests is completely wrong. The only limitation we have on guests in the Zodiac Age is that they have a limited number of actions they can use. You can even run around as them if you want to, which I intend to do since that's a big new feature for the Zodiac Age. You can even set up their gambits and pretty much everything. Yeah. It used to be in the original release that guests would have their own preset gambits and they would always use those. The cons, of course, being you have no control over them, but there was a massive pro in that if any of your guests were programmed to use items, they would use those items indefinitely. They would have an infinite supply to pull from. So in this part, Amalia would have an infinite supply of potions to throw around, and then a few of our other guests we get later have infinite supplies of high potions. But now they lose their infinite supply, but as a trade-off, they are completely and fully controllable. Anyway, we have our first boss fight here against a group of Flans. They're gonna try and inflict blind a lot, so I thought she'd have blind. Nah. Anyway, we're just gonna throw around eye drops. Yeah, I got plenty of those. They're gonna try and blind your allies, so it'll make it tougher for them to hit people. Just use eye drops, or I think Fran knows blind to us, so just have her use that if you want to. If you have anyone using a gun, they're not going to be able to do that much damage. Flans do not take a lot of damage from the gun at all. I'm not entirely sure why that is, but it makes sense from a common sense standpoint. They are just balls of gush. Yeah, here's me using that L2 feature to make the camera focus on Amalia here, as well as her main target. And we also get a better look at her very weird outfit. Is that some sort of mini skirt, or is it a pair of shorts? Either way, it's like she's running around saying, I want people to look at my panties. Well, if it is a skirt. I think they're also weak to fire, so you could set up Fran, or if you have Balthier or Vaan as a black mage, you could set them up to cast fire on nearby enemies for this boss fight. Or you just do it manually, whatever works best for you. But with all of them down, you get to see a cutscene of the enemy actually dying in all of its morbid and grisly glory. And then you get a victory cutscene where everyone holds their weapons and poses. You know, for rule of cool. Apparently it takes a long time for these things to die. It'll usually focus the camera on whoever you were playing as, but since it's not programmed to really do that with guests, it always defaults to whoever's who's ever at the top of the party. So usually it'll be Vaan, but if Vaan's not around, then it's Balthier, then Fran, and then the next three people will get in the order we get them. We'll be getting our last three party members one at a time. Anyway, and then it also defaults you back to the lead part, or whoever's at the top of that party list, if you were playing as a guest. I should probably switch back to Amalia. I think I forgot to. Like I said last time, this is another post-commentary episode. Because, actually, with this one, I didn't even try to record it with live audio. I just, played the game and had it record. Which I kind of regret now. Last time I really realized that, that trying to read those lines in post-commentary is really, really tough. I don't know how long to pause, how long to read, how long to pause. I'm going to be trying to get everything else done in post-commentary. It might make the episodes a bit later. I've been trying to do them get one up a day. But I have limited times where I can record in mostly silence, or mostly peace. Yeah. But I'll do my best to make sure the audio is live commentary from now on. And I hate these ghost enemies. They teleport around like that, and while they're in the middle of teleporting, your characters will still try to attack them. But while they're moving around, they don't take damage. It's really unfair, like very wholly unfair. And then we're actually seeing a bit of the AI being smart here. If you have multiple people set up with the exact same gambit, in this case I have both Fran and Amalia set up to cast Cure when someone's HP falls below 50%. Rather than them both stopping everything they're doing to cast Cure, only the first one who gets to Cure will do it. Or gets to use their next action. The AI is actually pretty smart about that, and it's not gonna waste resources. Oh yeah, I forgot. I kept forgetting to turn the subtitles back on. Anyway, the subtitles will be on, so now that'll be on for the cutscenes too. You won't have to use the YouTube's closed captioning, which sometimes gets things wrong. Like I remember I tried to do that for one episode of, I forget what I was watching, but for some odd reason it kept assuming people were saying verily, or something to that effect, and it wasn't even Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Yeah, if you ever do want to avoid fighting enemies, do turn your gambits off, or at least toggle the offensive ones off, because your characters get pretty bloodthirsty. Anytime something meets the conditions for their gambit, they will always do it, every single time. Oh, and I forgot to mention, that symbol next to Amalia's health bar here, that means she has the Libra effect active. What Libra does is it reveals the exact amount of HP an enemy has, and it also reveals any traps that might be on the floor. I don't think we're going to be running into too many, but Amalia always has that effect active. It's very useful. It's part of the reason why I was tempted to pick up that accessory that gives you Libra, but you find better accessories almost right after that, or pretty soon-ish. Always just go for whatever accessory is best for the situation. Like, if I had been smart, and there was one to resist poison or blind, I would have picked those up. But instead, I was not smart. And I just picked up new gear. Let's see, part of the reason why I'm a little iffy on Amalia, like, she's a character I kind of like overall, but part of the reason why I don't like her as much as I could stem from her adaptation, or her appearance in the manga adaptation. They have a manga out for this game. And in the manga, she is more helpless. Like that scene where she's fighting off the Imperials, instead of cutting one down and jumping down to regroup with Vaan and Balthier and Fran, she instead jumps right down there and has to be rescued by Vaan, Balthier, and Fran. She wasn't even holding her own. It's really sad. Anyway, you go through this door, and there is another boss fight. Ooh, and it knows how to make an entrance, too. You should recognize this room. I think it's the exact same one from when we first started playing as Vaan. And for some odd reason, this flaming pony is here. This is Fire Main, and I have no idea what it's doing down here. I think the bestiary, if you read it, read its entry in the bestiary, it explains what's going on. But otherwise, it's just a giant fire horse. It can be a bit of a tricky fight. When it uses bushfire, it'll do a lot of damage unless your characters are standing in the water. So ranged weapons can be useful here, but otherwise it'll deal a lot of damage and it poisons people. So if you can lure it out into the water, which I didn't do for no discernible reason, then it'll really reduce the amount of damage it does with bushfire. Also, this horse is just like those stupid, idiotic ghost thingies, and it can teleport. And yeah, teleporting is just really stupid and I hate it. And I just noticed, Amalia is also doing significantly more damage than the rest of the party. Well, I guess not too significant, but she's doing about 70-ish, everyone else is doing about 50-ish. Let's see, I had Amalia throw an antidote at Vaan, so Vaan will throw one at Balthier. And then we'll need someone to throw one at Fran. Let's have Vaan do it. He's doing the least amount of damage anyway. I think. It's really tough to tell. Maybe I should have had Fran do it, because her damage is the most inconsistent right now. I don't know. I think at the same time her damage is going to average out to be about the same as everyone else's, just with a lot more wider variables. I guess a good way to explain it would be like if they were factoring in their damage with dice rolls, Fran would have to be rolling a 20-sided dice while everyone else is rolling like a 3 or a 6-sided dice. Although, I think I already explained that about the axes and stuff. Anyway, with Fire Mane down, I think it runs away by turning back into a ball of fire, and we get more cutscene. Yeah, not the victory one, though.
Stand where you are.
Oh, beloved subtitles, how I missed you. I should have turned you off right away. Turned you on right away.
Now's not the time.
They think me some common thief.
Better than a common assassin.
These people have done nothing. Release them.
What are you doing?
Don't interrupt me. I'm thinking.
Kinda nice for Vaan to lead his own troops like that.
Where'd you
He didn't
think
know
you
what he
were
was
going?
doing. You have to let him go. You have to.
Penelo! Sorry. That dinner will have to wait.
I told you.
That's enough.
Ah!
Leave him alone.
Oh, jeez, that guy's in a world of... Oh,
Hold
never
on to
mind.
this for me, would you?
Balthier saved
Just
his
until I bring
life
Vaan back.
from Penelo.
You, over here.
All right. Edgy, aren't we?
It's Balthier, my brother.
What does that philanderer think he's doing? I was to kill Balthier, not those addle-pated Imperials.
Well, that sheds some light on whoever those people are. Apparently, they're related, and they don't like Balthier. As for why, I don't know. I mean, who doesn't like Balthier? He's like a little wolf. Yeah, this cutscene. I never fully understood what's going on here, or why it's placed right here, but I think they just wanted to characterize Vaan and his
I brought you
relationship
some of those flowers you like. Gabbana
with
lilies.
Rex.
Remember?
Has some...
You always said how they smelled nice.
I should
and how
just
pretty
shut
they were. Remember? The king. Did you? Were you really a part of it? Even if you were, Captain Bosch must have tricked you into it.
I guess they put this scene here because they wanted to emphasize or highlight what the relationship was between Vaan and Rex, and Vaughn's thoughts on the events of the prologue. And also, that's a pretty ring. I guess they wanted to make those lilies he picked in the Ester Sand a Chekhov's gun. Although it doesn't actually fire, so I guess it's not really a gun and more of a thing they wanted to draw reference back to. No, we got a cutscene and Vaughn's gonna wake up and then they'll start talking.
You're awake.
Where are we?
Prison, where else? Or a dungeon, but it's really all the same. Relax, it's just a corpse. Jump at every little thing down here and you'll wear yourself out.
Just a corpse, he
It's not
says.
even a proper dungeon. They just sealed off the bottom level of the fortress. Take a look around. We're not the first they've thrown down here.
Where's Fran?
She's off trying to find us a way out. Remember what curiosity killed? Just a friendly word of advice. This is all the water we've got. I'd save your strength if I were you.
Yeah, a bit of a misquoted Chinese proverb there, but I guess they don't have China in Evilise. I don't know the exact proverb. It's a misquote from, but it was supposed to encourage curiosity instead of dissuade people from being curious. Anyway, in Nabana Dungeon here, I should have opened the menu. I forgot to open the menu, but we don't have any of our gear. And I think I was a bit distracted playing through this part, so Vaughn's going to handle like he's drunk. So let's just go ahead and pretend like he's just tired from exhaustion and doesn't know what he's doing. Yeah, that sounds like a good excuse. Let's pretend I've just said that instead of explaining what I was actually doing. Anyway, I recommend running around and finding these item chests. They'll have an item called a Knot of Rust in them, and those will be useful almost immediately. Well, somewhat useful. If you made Vaan or Balthier a red battle mage, and you also have the dark spell, then they're going to be even more useful. Or, failing that, a black mage with the fire spell. Either way, since they're going to be restricted to not having any equipment, any damage you can do besides just unarmed for our next encounter is going to be helpful. There's one more chest, and I think I forgot one back there, but that's okay. We got 2 Knots of Rust, and 2 should be more than enough. And I didn't talk to those guys because they don't really have anything useful to say. More cutscene. You would think this was a story-driven game. Kind of pretty for a dungeon. Or prison. Whatever it's supposed to be. And then not so pretty with all these prisoners running around naked. Well, not really naked, but... Well, I guess the doggy lizard benga things are naked. Or nearly. So are the ugly pigs.
No, don't! He was defenseless.
Yeah, I have no idea what he said. It's like a Wookiee situation where they're speaking a language and we don't know what they're saying, but everyone else does. Weird that they didn't just kill Vaan like they did with that one guy.
Something stinks in here, all right? I've changed my mind. This is no dungeon, it's a sty. I said you're the one that stinks, Hamshanks. Hear me now? You all right, Vaan?
But even if you don't have either of them as a mage, like well, like what I've got right now, they'll still kick ass, because Vaan and Balthier can easily outdamage all three of these guys. And the camera's misbehaving. I think I'm gonna avoid using that L2 thing. Anyway, yeah, the Knots of Rust do insane amounts of damage. I think if you picked up, I think there might be 3 before this part, and if you picked up all 3, Vaan and Balthier can just annihilate them. Just use a Knot of Rust, Knot of Rust, Knot of Rust.
That's a face one back.
Not faces I'd seen before.
Ooh, more things are happening.
Ready?
Great. They just don't give up, do they? Now is looking like a good time for us to leave.
Through the oubliette, there's a way out. Only...
Only you sense the mist.
Are we gonna get clarification on that?
Then we'll need weapons.
I guess that's a no.
What did you call me? Say that again.
What? You couldn't hear? I merely said that a lot of you are incompetent fools. If you've the Sky Pirate in your hands, where is he?
You'd have done better, Bagamnon. By your own words, it was the Imperial Army who caught this Sky Pirate of yours. We've done your job for you. We don't require the assistance of filthy headhunters. The Empire will restore order here.
Eh? What's that you say now? Maybe I'll wet my blade on you before I kill Balthier.
That's enough, Bagamnon.
He sounds vaguely familiar.
a judge.
Judge?
The self-proclaimed guardians of law and order in Arcadia. They're the elite guard of House Solidor, which effectively makes them the commanders of the Imperial Army. If you ask me, they're more executioners than judges. Not a friendly lot, at any rate. What are they doing here?
The Emperor is willing to overlook race for his more talented servants. However, those that do not show respect will receive none in kind.
Your Honor.
You travel freely through our lands because the Emperor wills it. Am I correct? Where is the captain?
We have him in solitary, Your Honor. We're ready to begin our interrogation.
This does not concern you, bounty hunter.
He's in here somewhere. Find him.
Watchy, that way.
Going this way.
What's that?
Time for the hare to follow the fox.
The magics binding the door to the oubliette are quite strong. Too strong even for my talents.
Not a mage.
That's why we'll get them to open it for us.
How is going deeper into this
What's
place?
wrong? You don't trust her? Fiera's noses are sharp. If she says there's a way out, there's a way out.
Alright, and then we're in this small area. Another cutscene. This one's short.
Ah, the prison repository of rested relics and raiments.
So, our things are in here?
That's what I said.
Alliteration is always a win. But I think with that, now that we're here and we got our equipment back, I'm gonna go ahead and call that an episode. Next time, we'll continue to chase down the judges and find our way out of here. This has been Space Oyster, and if you liked what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch y'all later, or catch y'all next time.